Hi, I'm Седрик.
Hi, I'm Alin.
And this is our story. And we may not look physically alike, but we're twins. We were born and raised in France, but we have a pretty multicultural family. Our mother's Spanish, our dad's Belgian. We grew up in France, but we also studied in different countries because we speak different languages. So we studied in Canada, China, Brazil, Mexico, and we both happen to be gay.
Because we're openly gay and we've traveled a lot, we've seen how different LGBTQIA people live around the world. And so that sparked curiosity in us too, thinking, wow, in this country you have these rights, in this you don't. And so we thought, so we're both European, for us Europe is very important. And we have a tendency to see a lot of, American or Canadian showing spotlight on LGBTQIA people. But maybe in Europe we kind of lack that visibility. So we thought one day Седрик called me, I don't know where he was, but he called me and he was like, I think we should work together and let's try to give more visibility, know what's going on in which country, because we are not aware right now, and try to just like illustrate what people are living in different countries.
So from the very top, so I was living in Canada and Alin was living in Paris, and we were each doing our own things accordingly. And so one day we thought, it's such a shame that both being gay, we're not doing anything that can help people who were born differently. So we came up with the idea of going around Europe and interviewing people who are LGBT so that we can hear their stories, so that we can share their stories and people can hear about how being transgender is like in this country, how being bisexual is like in this other country. So we can compare and see the similarities in what it's like being LGBT in Europe.
And we also knew that we were lucky and privileged because our parents were accepting, our family and friends were accepting, but it wasn't the case for everyone else in Europe, and we knew that. And we also did this project because when you see the situation in Europe politically and socially, you see that what we've acquired today in the laws for LGBTQIA people aren't safe and secure. So we need to keep on fighting for it, giving visibility, because we know that an LGBTQIA minority is always at risk when it comes to, when there's struggles politically, economically, and socially.
So far, we've covered a couple countries, and of course, since it's our European chapters, we still have a lot to cover, but we've covered Spain, France, the UK, Belgium, the Netherlands, Poland, Bulgaria, Romania, Italy, Switzerland, and we have a lot more to do.
The project is called Paint, simply because at the end of each video, each story that is told by the participant, we paint their faces in one of the colors of the LGBT flag, as a way to unite every story and to say, it's like a stamp saying, okay, thank you for sharing your story, and thank you for being part of this, bigger, project. I would say what surprised us most in the work we've done so far and what has been most challenging was when we did street interviews in Romania, because so far all the street interviews we've done, even in Poland, people were trying to go our way, saying that they weren't homophobic, but they'd rather not see it. So to an extent that is a bit of a homophobic reaction, but in Romania, being openly homophobic was normal, and people were all reacting that way and didn't feel a sense of maybe it's just not right to feel this way. So it was very much ingrained. So for us that was challenging to see how natural it was. I think that was the most challenging.
Absolutely. People almost took pride in saying that they were homophobic. It was kind of a good thing to them. It wasn't, shocking in any way. To us, obviously, we had to pretend that, it was, because we stay neutral for every opinion, but ultimately, when you think about it, it's pretty shocking to see how proud and how, almost happy they are to be openly homophobic. And the worst, what's worse is that these people were very friendly. These are very friendly people. These are very approachable, normal, friendly people, but they, are somewhat ignorant and somewhat closed-minded when it comes to LGBT issues. And that's why we're doing what we're doing, is that we're trying to educate these people. We're trying to give them things that they've never seen, because not only are they're ignorant because they don't have an approach with LGBT issues, LGBT people. And so they have these misconceptions and these opinions and ideas that have been installed in them in their country's culture for generations.
I feel like if you compare the community, the LGBT community in Canada, the US versus in Europe, although Europe we still have to, Spain isn't the same as Romania, for example. But I feel like the main difference between these communities is that they're in the US and Canada, the media is helping out for there to be a more tight-knit community where it becomes more normalized, there are more allies because people are more educated because they see it on TV and in the media. In Europe, it's more, if you're interested, it's probably because you are LGBT. And so in that sense, there's no sense of togetherness. I feel like we're missing allies in Europe, and we need allies to bring this conversation to be normalized, and we're just human beings at the end of the day.
I came out for two main reasons. The first one was Alin, my sister, because she had come out a year before I came out, and I had seen how free she felt, how open she felt, how happy she was to live the life she was meant to live. And the second reason is because we were both living in Canada, and going from the south of France, like a small place, to a big city like Montreal in Canada, really helped me see how normal being gay was and how normal being LGBT was. And to see men holding hands on the street and kissing, that's something I had never seen in my entire life. And so Canada played a huge part in my own coming out story.
People are less afraid because, for example, they have open spaces where you can be yourself and it's explicit. So people aren't afraid to be who they are. And when you know someone who is how they are in real life, then you think, oh, why can't I be the way I am? And so I think that's what they have more than we do. I think we need more safer spaces, and we need to have more conversations around diversity.
I would advise, LGBT people or gay people in Bulgaria, young teen, adolescent people, to not give up on who they are, but also because I know that in Bulgaria there aren't that many figureheads or LGBT leaders in the media portrayed as if they almost didn't exist that much. I would advise them to look around, go on YouTube, go on the internet, see what's going on in other countries, see what's going on, how many openly gay athletes there are, how many openly gay singers there are, or celebrities, anything, to see that, of course, the country that you're in right now isn't that open when it comes to you and your sexuality, but hopefully you can be part of the change. But unfortunately, you're living in a country right now that isn't ready to fully accept people who are LGBT, and hopefully you can be part of the change that'll come to help bring this equality between LGBT people and everyone else. So I would say not to give up, and to realize and hopefully understand that you're completely normal, just the way you are, and you are just as equal and deserving in love as anyone else.
If I may just add to that, I would say, so if I saw a Bulgarian kid, I would definitely say, and for that matter, anyone around the world, I would say today, if you live, there's nothing more beautiful than being who you are. People around you will either accept you or reject you, but those who will accept you will fully accept you, and those relationships are priceless. And living a lie is never going to fulfill you, although sometimes you're obliged to in certain countries. But in Bulgaria, you're seeing that things are evolving. There are communities out there. I mean, what you do at Single Step, they are definitely here to welcome you, to accompany you, to listen to you, and that you are not alone. I think that's the most important thing. You're not alone, and you're beautiful the way you are. I mean, diversity is something that's beautiful and something that has to be embraced. And if anything, you're lucky to be the way you are, and you will find people who will help you.